Welcome. In this video, I'm going to show you some simple and effective self-defense techniques that you can easily learn while practicing by yourself at home. In fact, all you need is a doorway. It can be a bedroom, a bathroom, a closet, a hallway door. Any door will work just fine, though generally speaking, the smaller the opening of the door space, the better, but any size pretty much will work. Hi, I'm Mike Corwin, and I teach individuals, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and government agencies how to reduce their risk of being victimized by violence. If you're ready to start taking concrete steps to keep yourself and your loved ones safe, download my free situational awareness guide. It's chock full of tips on how to incorporate situational awareness, the most important element of personal safety, into your daily life. Just click on the link in the description and comments below. And if you're an organization interested in learning more about how to keep your staff, your members, or your executive team safe during rising levels of hate and violence, you can schedule a free, no-obligation consult with me by clicking on the second link in the description and in the comments below. By the end of this video, you will know the best way to stand in order to defend yourself. You'll also learn a simple blocking technique called the palm pass that allows you to safely redirect a strike towards your face before it hits you. The vast majority of attacks involve a punch to your head, so it's imperative that you learn to protect your head from the start, and this technique will help you to do that. You'll also learn some simple footwork that will increase your level of safety by helping you avoid being hit while better positioning you to counterstrike. And you'll even learn how to perform a simple yet effective counterstrike. Now, there's something to keep in mind here. The goal is to help you automate your responses through patterning your movements. You don't need to strike hard at all. It's literally about going through the motions until you can do them in your sleep. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing that we're going to go over now is how to stand when you need to defend yourself. Now, the great thing about this stance is it's also really good for de-escalation. So it serves kind of a double purpose. I call it the safe stance. And what I want you to think about is you're going to have both of your hands up, fingertips about eye height, out in front of you, maybe about 8 inches or so, or 10 inches. And as you'll notice, it looks like I'm trying to depict to somebody to calm down, right? Palms are open, facing the person, but my elbows are in to protect my ribs if need be. And from this position, I can block, I can strike, or I can push, or I can stop somebody running at me with both hands. You can have both of your feet kind of parallel. Personally, I prefer to have my left foot slightly in front, but it can also be your right foot. And a little later on, we're going to talk about a little bit of footwork, and you'll see how you can do that from either side. Now, again, with the safe stance, you always want to be in this position. So I'm going to teach you how to do a palm pass block and also a backhand hammer fist. But with that, you're always going to come back to the safe stance because your head needs to be protected. You don't want to extend out and leave your hand where you're vulnerable. So what we're going to do here first is starting from the safe stance. Now, first I'm going to do the hand motion, then I'm going to add in some footwork. But what I want you to see is this is a technique called a palm pass, and it's basically for a punch that's coming center line straight to your face, which the vast majority of attacks are initiated with a punch, usually a right hand punch. So what I want you to do is visualize that punch is coming to you, and you're going to swat it. Now, we're going to use the door jamb because I want you to get the tactile feeling of striking something. Now, notice how I'm not hitting it hard. Again, we're just after patterning the motion, right? We just want to get the motion down so that we can do this in our sleep. But essentially, a palm pass is kind of like swatting a fly. Now, why this is so effective is you're not trying to meet force with force. That takes way too long. You're just quickly trying to swat that punch that's coming out of harm's way. If it misses by an inch, it's as good as if it misses by a foot. Now, with the palm pass, you can add in some footwork. This time I'm going to step with my left foot and come across, and then of course we come back. Watch again, you're stepping and palm passing. Now, I don't know if you noticed this, but in stepping, I moved out of the center line. That's actually going to help you in two ways. One, it helps you move out of harm's way of the pass, so if your block is not particularly effective, you're still going to not get hit, but also it brings you in close enough to be able to counter strike. A block alone is not going to be sufficient when you are attacked. You will have to do some form of counter strike. Now again, palm pass can also go to that side, and then we come back. Again, stepping, coming back. Now what happens if they're going to throw multiple punches? We can practice using the door jam. We're going to block left, block right, block left, block right. Each time you're getting a sense of what it feels like to make contact, but we're not hitting hard enough to hurt our hands, right? You don't have to. We're really just swatting that punch out of the way. Notice each time, though, I come back to my safe stance. What we're going to focus on is 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, each time coming back, right? So if they go punch, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, right? We're just practicing, and each time we're coming back to the center to defend ourselves. We're not trying to defend ourselves from this one spot. We're always coming back to the center. Now, we talked about that footwork. That footwork is simply a V, okay? So when we do our footwork, we're doing a V, and you can exaggerate your footwork a little bit, get a little bit more depth. But again, focus on the fact that as I step on a 45, I come out of the center, and then as I add that palm strike, or palm pass, that gives me extra distance so that I'm not hit. Now, we practice using both hands. I'm going to add a little something in, and it's a counter strike, and we're going to do a backhand hammer fist. Now, again, we're not hitting hard, but we're getting used to making some contact. So what I want you to think about is, if the punch comes, we block, and then we're going to come back with a counter strike. So it's palm pass, counter, palm pass, counter. Can be done the other hand, palm pass, counter, palm pass, counter, palm pass, counter, each time coming back to our safe stance. Now, this is a natural response. We're just working on patterning the block to the strike. Or we can go block, block, inside, inside. Either way, the trick is to use our natural response to be able to counter. So we're going to come back and strike, come back and strike. Now, a nice thing about hitting with this part of your hand versus a traditional punch is you don't have those little bones in your hand that are so easy to break being susceptible on the strike. You're using the meaty part of your hand. If you're ready to start taking concrete steps to keep yourself and your loved ones safe, download my free situational awareness guide. It's chock full of tips on how to incorporate situational awareness, the most important element of personal safety, into your daily life. Just click on the link in the description and the comments below. And if you're an organization that would like to learn more about how to keep your staff, your executive leadership team safe during today's rising level of hatred and violence, you can schedule a free, no obligation call with me by clicking on the second link in the description and comments below.